Hi, I'm Lisa. For years, I've felt overshadowed by someone I could never seem to please, my mother-in-law, Brenda. Every day followed the same routine. I'd be up before dawn, moving silently to avoid her sharp critiques. By 6 o'clock a.m., I was already in the kitchen, the cold morning air mixing with the scent of brewing coffee. As the coffee dripped, I prepared breakfast, scrambled eggs, toast, and Brenda's favorite, crispy bacon. The sizzling sound seemed to summon her from her room, like it was the only alarm she ever responded to. "Make sure the bacon's crispy, Lisa. And don't burn the toast like last time," came Brenda's voice from the doorway, icy and sharp. "Of course, Brenda, just the way you like it," I replied, keeping my voice steady, hoping to avoid an early clash. As I plated her breakfast, I could feel her eyes scrutinizing every move, as if I were walking on fragile glass. The slightest misstep would shatter the peace. The morning light barely seeped through the curtains when her voice cut through the stillness. "I want this house spotless today, Lisa. Start with making me a decent cup of coffee, not like yesterday's mess." Taking a deep breath, I measured the coffee grounds with extra care, hoping to avoid another complaint. The coffee maker hummed softly, a contrast to the tense atmosphere. I busied myself cleaning, dusting, vacuuming, ensuring everything was in order, even though I knew she would find fault anyway. The moment of truth came when I brought Brenda her coffee. She sat in her usual chair, watching me like a hawk. "Here you go. I made it stronger today," I said, offering a cautious smile. She took a sip, her face twisting in disgust. "This is awful. How hard is it to make a simple cup of coffee? Are you trying to irritate me on purpose?" she snapped. "No, Brenda. I—" Before I could explain, she shot up from her chair, still holding the cup. "You're useless, Lisa. Absolutely useless." Her voice rose in fury as she stepped closer, grabbing my arm with a painful grip. "Please, Brenda, you're hurting me," I begged, my voice trembling. "Good. Maybe that'll teach you to do better." And with that, she did something she had never done before. She yanked my hair and shoved me back. I stumbled, stunned by the sharp pain and the few strands of hair that came away in her hand. I stood there frozen, as tears welled in my eyes, not just from the physical pain, but from the realization of how far she was willing to go. Brenda tossed the coffee cup into the sink with a loud clatter. "Clean that up, and make the coffee again," she demanded before sitting back down. My mind raced. This couldn't continue. As soon as Brenda returned to her chair, I slipped out of the room, my hands shaking as I reached for my phone. With a deep breath, I dialed John's number. The phone rang, each tone heavy with the weight of what I was about to do. "John, it's me," I whispered. "I need to tell you what just happened." "Brenda," she attacked me. I can't live like this anymore." His voice came through, full of concern. "Lisa, what happened? Are you okay?" Tears streamed down my face as I spoke. She pulled my hair, shoved me. "I'm really scared. I don't know what to do." There was a long pause on the other end of the line. "I'm so sorry, Lisa. I had no idea it was this bad. I'm coming home right now. We'll figure this out together. Just hang in there, okay?" As I hung up the phone, a newfound resolve settled over me. Today was the day everything changed. I couldn't live under Brenda's control any longer. When John arrived, I felt an overwhelming sense of relief. Without thinking, I ran into his arms, and he held me tight, speechless for a moment. "I'm so sorry, Lisa. I'm in shock that things escalated this far," he said softly. "But I'm glad you spoke up. Now, we need to find a way to fix this." Tears flowed down my face, and I felt so weak, but John's words, and just his presence, calmed me. That night was heavy with the weight of the decision we had made. But the next morning felt different, as though the air was lighter with the promise of change. When I came downstairs, John was already on the phone, speaking in a low, serious tone. "Yes, I understand the options, but we need something that allows for some independence too. That's crucial." He glanced up at me and gave a small, reassuring smile before finishing his call. Once he hung up, he motioned for me to come over. "I've been looking into care facilities that offer independent living arrangements," he said. "I want to make sure we find a place where Mom can still feel like she has her own space, but where we know she's safe and well taken care of." I nodded, grateful for his thoughtfulness in such a difficult situation. "That sounds like a good balance, John. Have you talked to her about it yet?" He sighed, running a hand through his hair. "I'm about to. Wish me luck." We found Brenda sitting in the living room, her posture still holding a hint of defiance, though her demeanor was more subdued. John sat across from her, his expression serious but kind. "Mom, we need to talk about what's next. I found a few places that I think would suit you. They're nice, comfortable, and you have your own apartment." Brenda's face hardened. "So you're sending me away now, after one mistake?" John remained calm. "It's not about sending you away, Mom. It's about finding a solution that keeps everyone safe and healthy. This isn't just about yesterday. It's about a pattern that we can't ignore anymore." Brenda's voice rose, her anger simmering. "I don't mean to be managed, John. I'm not a child." "This isn't about treating you like a child," John said gently. "It's about making sure Lisa feels safe and that you have the support you need as you get older." Brenda turned her gaze away, her eyes glistening with unshed tears. "I never thought it would come to this." "It's not an easy decision," John admitted, "but I believe it's the right one. The place I found has great reviews and the people seem really nice. You can come visit anytime, or we'll visit you whenever you want." After a long pause, Brenda finally nodded, her voice quiet. "Maybe you're right. Maybe it's for the best." "I know this is hard," John continued, "but I think it will be good for you. You won't have to worry about the house, and there are plenty of activities to keep you busy." Brenda let out a deep, resigned sigh. "All right, John. I'll try it, for you, but I'm not making any promises." John gave her a gentle smile. "That's all I'm asking, Mom." As we left the room, John squeezed my hand, a silent acknowledgement of the difficult but necessary decision we had made. The atmosphere felt permanently changed. It felt like we were finally moving toward something healthier, something better. The morning sun poured into the kitchen, casting a warm glow over the breakfast table where John and I sat, enjoying the quiet that had once seemed so elusive. He reached across the table, his hand finding mine. "Can you believe how peaceful it is?" John mused, a smile spreading across his face. I squeezed his hand, the tranquility of the moment washing over me. "It's like we're finally breathing again." I didn't realize how much tension I was holding onto until now. He nodded, his gaze thoughtful. "I'm sorry it took so long to make things right. I should have seen it sooner." "It's not your fault, John. We both hoped things would get better. I'm just so grateful for how you stood by me and took action when it mattered." I replied, my voice filled with appreciation. John's expression softened. "I'll always be here for you, Lisa. I promised that on our wedding day, and I mean to keep that promise. No one should make you feel unsafe, especially not in your own home." The coffee machine beeped, signaling that our brew was ready. As I stood to pour us each a cup, I reflected on how far we'd come, from feeling overwhelmed and undervalued to this moment of mutual respect and support. "You know, John, it's strange how things turn out. I feel stronger now, more confident in standing up for myself." "That's all I've ever wanted, for you to be happy and strong," John replied, watching me with eyes full of love. As we sipped our coffee, we talked about plans for the future. Simple things like redecorating the living room or planting a small garden in the backyard. Every word and laugh felt like a building block in the new foundation of our relationship, one no longer shadowed by Brenda's oppressive presence. "I've been thinking a lot about karma lately," I said, setting down my cup. John raised an eyebrow, intrigued. "What brought that on?" "Just seeing how everything unfolded. Brenda made her choices, and those choices led her to a new place. One that might actually be better for her in the long run. It's not about punishment, but more about the natural balance of things," I explained, my thoughts clear and firm. "It's comforting to think there's some kind of balance, that by standing up for yourself, you're not just causing conflict but restoring that balance," John said thoughtfully. I smiled, the early rays of sunlight catching the edges of my hair. "Exactly. And now we get to focus on building something positive here, just the two of us." John reached for my hand again, his touch reassuring. "Here's to new beginnings, to peace, and to us growing stronger together." As we sat there, the world outside slowly waking up, I couldn't help but feel a deep sense of peace. The journey had been hard, fraught with challenges and tears, but it had led to this new dawn filled with promise and newfound strength. And in that quiet light, I finally understood. Standing up for yourself is sometimes the most powerful statement you can make. As our story comes to a close, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Do you think moving Brenda to a care facility was the right decision? Or do you feel John and Lisa should have handled things differently? Please share your opinions in the comments below. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed, please like, share, and subscribe.